You damn right, he's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archive. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony. Very few artists have been able to achieve this, but the ones that have, we've seen a demise.
I'm on 100%.
100.
Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, feeling the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the birds with immunity. Pillars of unity. This is the formula of Voltron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the same stage as the Pope bomb. This is the sage you can smoke on. Copper pound, came on the scene, I was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16, I turned copper brown. Look for revenge in the copper town. Capping New Jersey and copper crown. 21 guns, salute jumper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the cloth that be talking. King County clothing, yeah, king of New York. And I'm Christopher walking, the missiles embarking. Pistols be talking, 21 hammers with country, the grammar, the broken, the English. I'm on 100%.
100.
Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Charges of federal, orders incredible, markers indelible, sparkers immeasurable. Sparking the medical, parkers on pedestal, sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's edible. Heart full of vegetables, art at the festivals, heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins. Whoa,
I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Peace, Red.
Peace to you and yours, brother Red Pill, representing Know the Ledge, KTL, here with our brother Sarnet in the House of Consciousness. And today's video was very important. It's actually going to be a follow-up to the video that we did last week. We want to keep the family informed. We don't want the family to be in the dark. We understand that there's a large portion of the family that don't even focus on politics. They're focusing on self. They're focusing on health. They're focusing on wealth and other things. So they don't really catch the news. And we understand that. What we're doing is we're reporting and we're putting news, time-stamping it, cataloging it, and putting it, putting this black media out there so it could go across the globe so people cannot be easily manipulated and spun by mainstream media, because we live in a very precarious times where it's you have to be aware and you have to be quote-unquote woke, and you should be conscious about what is taking place and what's not taking place, and always keep in mind that 90% of war is deception. So if you're being deceived by the mainstream media who's spinning stories or controlling the narrative and telling you what it is when it's not that, that's where we have to step in and just give you a little bit of information, you know what I mean, and pop up and drop this information on you so you're fully aware about what's going on, so we don't have to ask too many questions, because you're not going to get the truth told to you by mainstream media. You're not going to get the truth told to you by quote unquote, I don't know, white people that you may know. They don't even know what's going on. The majority of them, those that do know, are on code. So it's against code to tell you what's going on. They're going to stick to the narrative or the spin and spin your ass while all kind of other things are taking place. Now, for the story at hand, a case in point of the firing of the FBI director, whose name is James Comey. James Comey has a lot of history in both in the Clinton administration, and he has a history in the Trump administration. His history primarily in the Trump administration is the fact that he was investigating the Russian quote-unquote hacking and the Russian mob ties and the Russian mob business ties and the involvement that they had in the election, which would prove to be the undoing of Donald Trump as you know him, both in politics and probably in his life as a free man, because he would be able to prove by the feds that a crime took place. Who but the feds to investigate stories such as that? Aren't they known for their intricate investigation? They're a mixture of law enforcement and intelligence. So there's been rumors of Russian hacking. There's been rumors of Russian mob ties. There were Russian mob ties investigations that were taking place in the Trump Towers by the FBI, by the New York agent. Guess what Trump did to him? He fired him. This was about a month or two ago. You know what I'm saying? It's the Indian dude, Priva. I forgot, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he got the boot. Then you have conspicuously all of these agents or all of these prosecutors of all of these directors who are investigating them, they conspicuously get fired. Right? You got the dude in New York that I just mentioned, you got Comey, and then you had Sally Yates. So what you're seeing right now is almost akin to what is known in corporate America as a hostile takeover, right? His trigger man, the one who can basically clean up all investigations and cover it up, is his right-hand man. That's the KKK white supremacist, known white supremacist, on record. Somebody who's been around through many different administrations, that would be Jeff Sessions, okay? He's the one in control of the whole law enforcement and the way that they're moving. He's the one who is going to be able to deputize the feds to carry out all of the directives of Donald Trump and his administration when they do what? When they continue their crusades or when they continue their campaign against the Black Messiah. Who's the Black Messiah? The Black Messiah is the black messianic force of brown and black and red people and yellow people as well on the globe, but primarily in North America, who have been going against the quote-unquote program, who have been resisting the bullshit, resisting the falsehood, spreading the information, disseminating the information, waking the people up. The Marcus Garveys of the world, the Malcolm X's of the world, the El Malik Shabazz of the world, even the Martin Luther Kings of the world. You dig what I'm saying? The Farrakhan's of the world, the Khalid Muhammad's of the world. These people have been deemed as threats to all kind of ideologies, all kind of programs that have been put forth, all kind of directives that they have been, behind, such as the war on black people through the war on drugs. You dig what I'm saying? Which was created by federal agencies to do what? It has two faces to it. On one end, it's supposed to stop the drug abuse or stop drug dealing and drug abuse in the communities, which it has done none of such. What it did was it put a lot of people behind bars. It confiscated a lot of property. It basically destabilize a lot of communities, which enable what you see as regentrification amongst a whole bunch of other things take place in the communities right now, which stand the possibilities of being defunded by billions of dollars under the Trump administration, which also has hanging over people of color's head Trump care, which is your health, your mental health. So now you create all of these scenarios where Jeff Sessions rolls back civil rights protections, or he tells all of the police departments, don't worry about any of these cases against you when it comes to the brutality and the murder of black people, because I will not prosecute them. Then he showed them what he means when he said we're not going to prosecute Alton Sterling, right? And they didn't even contact the family. He just was like, nah, we throwing that out. So please understand that if he wants to throw out the Russian investigation, he will be able to do that. There was talks about Giuliani being invited to the White House right after the firing of this guy. So whoever gets put in the seat is going to be a Trump, a puppet, and they're going to carry out many directives that the FBI have been known to carry out. The feds, who were responsible in the 60s and all of these other times under the direction of Hoover for disrupting a lot of things. You dig what I'm saying? So if you don't see the criminality in this whole thing, or if you don't see how this is you know what I mean? Like, this is a coup. It's a hostile takeover. And, you know, in my humble opinion, everybody's on code. Everybody's on code. You know what I'm saying? The mainstream media, the Democrats that are acting with their fake outrage, you know, everybody's on code. And if they're not on code, then their fear, the level of fear has reached such a high level that these motherfuckers are afraid to even do something because they're witnessing the rise of an autocracy, a plutocracy, a corporate.
No, you're working, my brother.
Yes.
Just keep that up.
Yes, peace, King. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? I always love when a family comes through and spreads love and shows their appreciation. But you're seeing the rise of corporate sponsored dictatorship where, no thank you, where the deep state, corporate America, and these multi-billion-dollar, the same people who were tagging, you know, all of the alternative media channels, and the same people who did a YouTube boycott and a Google boycott, these same, CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, you know, all of these major brands and all of these major entities and corporate American structures are coming together under the and you know, they're coming together under the Trump administration, and you're seeing a takeover before your eyes. Nothing to panic about, though. Once again, like I said, we're reporting the news as it comes to us. We always have to mention that you don't allow peace. You don't allow anything to stop you from your personal growth. You don't allow anything to stop you from your path of enlightenment or the journey that you have been on, dealing with balancing your lower self and your higher self. What you do, though, is you watch these different factions play this theater in this movie that's playing out in real life, if you choose to pay attention to it. If not, you could go about your life doing what it is that you do. I don't encourage the majority of us to keep paying attention to it and giving it all of our attention, all of our time, all of our energy, because guess what Trump is? He's a master fucking manipulator and putting your ass into the into his trap of paying attention to him. He is a master in he's a master with the linguistics and the fact that there's never a dry moment when it comes to this president. He has you paying attention to him, and by paying attention to him, you're giving him energy. You're giving him energy. Okay, yeah. So they're saying his rage over Comey's Russia testimony led to the acts. You know what I mean? That's called a spin. You know what I'm saying? They have to come up with reasons behind what you saw taking place, so people don't begin to ask questions and people don't bring up something with this very vital, the fact that this is something that happened with the Nixon administration and what led up to what you know as Watergate, because there is definitely something that is being hid. There is definitely something that, you know what I'm saying, that they don't want to come out. There's definitely something that is definitely
well, they said he was getting ready to investigate Trump ass.
No, he been investigating him.
Oh.
He was investigating him for a very long time. But he was also investigating Pizzagate. And he was also supposed to be investigating those servers of Hillary's with the emails where they were talking about the involvement in all kind of crimes in Haiti. They were talking about this whole thing with this child abduction. They were talking about this thing with these pedophiles. They were utilizing code language, utilizing all kind of, coded language to talk about illicit activities. So, dude was controversial in a way that he was being played on both sides. I'm sure that there was some blackmail that a few people had over his head that was preventing him from even coming forward and revealing more than what he has revealed. But like I said, he went ahead and got rid of him, which is unprecedented. That's something that you don't see necessarily happening. But when it comes to this administration, as you can see, he is a disruptor. So he's doing things to both create shock and awe, to get your attention, to get you talking, to get you all in your feelings. And he's also doing his best at dismantling what you know as politics as you know it. Right? So, like I said, you know what I mean? With all of that being said, you know what I'm saying? With all of that being disclosed, with all of that information being shared, that doesn't take away the obligations that we have as a community to do what it is that we're supposed to be doing, coming together and doing something. Anything. I mean, just, one thing. Just come together and just sit in, one room or something. I don't know. But, there's a lot of inactivity on one side, whereas I'm identifying a lot of activity on the other side. They're stacking their cards very high. They're stacking their pieces very high. You know what I mean? And they're obviously preparing for something coming up. Because you ain't really seen nothing yet. You know what I mean? Take my word for it. Jeff Sessions is your modern day J. Edgar Hoover. And he's going to show and prove how much he is invested in taking people of color, Aboriginal, indigenous people who are standing on their square, people who are out here disseminating information, people who are out here giving the truth up, people who are exemplifying messianic forces. They're going to show you how they're going to crack down on those people. You know what I mean?
You think he's going to seek revenge on Trump?
Who's that?
The FBI, the former FBI director.
I mean,
When he fired. Because you know how white
of
people
course.
do.
I mean,
White people don't let that shit go by. Hell no.
I'm sure that
He didn't even, hold on.
I'm sure that the agency.
Red Pill, I need you to go in.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he was fired. He was up there giving a lecture, and it came on the screen behind him, and the people started laughing, saying, "Yo, they fired you." He thought it was all a joke. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
He thought it was a joke."
Yeah,
he was
so
playing with it.
that's why you know that you're dealing with something that is, unethical. It's unprecedented. They put out a press release, you know what I mean? Sessions had one of his deputies come in and he became the gunman. He's the one who shot him down. You know what I'm saying? So people are coming in, jockeying for position. Trump is restructuring the whole administration and his whole, inner circle to be people that are directly in line with what you see taking place. You know what I mean? So, obviously he was getting close. Obviously he was asking for extra money to expand his investigation because the probe was reaching a point to where he was able to tie all of these characters that are still in the administration, that are close to Trump, into the Russian hacking, Russian mob ties, the Russian Putin ties. I mean, all of these things, but you're seeing a cover-up taking place before your eyes. Please believe that, you know what I mean? There's all kind of shredders working overtime right now, trying to destroy evidence or whatever it is that they have. And, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why you heard so much about that Korea. That's why he was shooting missiles into empty barracks. That's why he was launching the mother of all bombs on empty mountains, because he had to keep the people distracted and he had to take people's attention away from the fact that he was about to get indicted a few months ago. All right? Yeah.
Peace and Black Power, family. We are living in historic times because we are living. And every day of our lives creates a new opportunity to make black history. So we are living in historic times. Throughout my lifetime, I have been witness to phenomenal brothers and sisters who have come before me and exist in my time with me, right? Absolutely phenomenal brothers and sisters, and they keep the legacy going. The legacy of greatness that we always talk about, that we always seem to want to search back in thousands and thousands of years of the past in order to uncover. I bear witness that individuals of that stature have existed in my lifetime in these United States. When we think about lions of instrumentation like John Coltrane and Charlie Parker, who are studied right now in universities all over the world for just their approach to a piece of brass, right? When we consider compositional geniuses and even scholastic geniuses, I bear witness that I live in historic times. Now, to the current popcorn theater or political theater that we see unfolding before our eyes, courtesy of Dumbo. Well, he's official now, so I have to respect the office, if not the individual. So President Dumbo, right? We are living in the historic presidency of the most ignorant white man walking the face of the earth in my lifetime. He is 70 plus years old, family, and does not know that if you lie on Monday and you lie on Tuesday and you lie on Wednesday, people gonna remember those lies on Thursday. What day is it, Sinetta?
Thursday.
Oh my goodness. Now, y'all have to understand, when we talk about, let me get colloquial on you for a second. When we's discussing them white folks' business, we ain't talking about our business. So we don't want you Negroes and you black suicidal folks, you know, you guys out there that's trying to kill yourselves and call that shit fun, right? We don't want y'all saying, why is you niggers talking about them white peoples? We's talking about them white peoples cause them white peoples is some funny motherfuckers right about now. Here you got investigation after investigation looking for the reasons why this motherfucker could possibly, maybe, somehow be a Russian. Co-opted sleeper agent in the White House. Let me repeat that so the slow among you can follow along. That he might be a Russian sleeper agent in the White House. They might have planted his ass as a real estate agent in New York 50 years ago so that they could recoup on their investment in the 2016 election, because the Russians and the KGB was planning that far ahead so that they could plant Donald Trump ass in the White House. He is a Russian plant. Now, that is as ridiculous as Donald Trump running around saying Barack Obama was not born in Hawaii and he was somehow a secret Muslim born in Kenya. Okay? So now, when I say far-fetched and ridiculous shit, but notice how many people ate up that far-fetched and ridiculous shit that they were saying about Barack Obama. Okay? So now, here we have unfolding before us in real time, family. This is unfolding before us in real time. Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. First he says, this is just too rich. We got to take our time with this one. But first he says, they rolled out this new bird, Rosenstein, right? Rosenstein, but notice that they keep mispronouncing his name, right? They keep calling him Rosenstein. There's some shit to that too. You know they talking codes, right? So you know they be saying one thing to this side of the room, but they be sending a subliminal message to this side of the room, right? All right. So now when they say Stein, they talking to the white wing, right? When they say Steen, they talking to New York. Israel. Know what I'm saying? They talking to Israel. Now, understand, we got a couple of agendas playing out at the same time, so they got to keep confusion in the water so you can't, once the boat stop, you're going to see where the boat's at. You're going to see who's involved, so they got to keep the boats moving at all times, right? So now watch how this works. Here you have an Israeli agenda unfolding, right? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with no experience whatsoever in any type of governmental, structural, organizational bureaucracy, right? You have Donald Trump's son-in-law, who just happens to be Jewish, right? Jared Kushner, right? He's got all this goddamn power. He's in charge of solving Mideast peace, right? Now, we don't have to be rocket scientists to say that is a Israeli issue. Okay, so we can say that the state of Israel is deeply concerned about what Jared Kushner's up to, okay? Because he's gonna solve Mideast peace, right? They want to make sure that he ain't making a deal with the Arabs behind their Jewish backs in order to solve Mideast peace, right? So now that's Jared Kushner. That's one thing that's going on, right? That somehow don't seem to make the headlines. It don't seem to make the headlines that you have a 20-something-year-old Jewish kid in charge of fucking Mideast peace in the White House, right? In charge of restructuring the federal government of the United States, in charge of solving the opiate crisis in the United States, right? A 20-something-year-old white guy who don't know shit about drugs, who don't know shit about politics, who don't know shit about international diplomacy, right? But just happens to be Donald Trump's son-in-law, okay? Now, Donald Trump don't know shit about international diplomacy. Don't know shit about well, I can't say he don't know shit about drugs. I take that back. Hold up. Cause Donald Trump be sounding like he fucking up. 3 o'clock in the morning tweeting and shit.
Yeah, right.
Know what I'm saying? He coked the fuck up. 3 o'clock in the morning, he tweeting. I fired him because I wanted to. But news reports, paper trails, the guy who they just confirmed 2 weeks ago, who just got the job 2 weeks ago, he undertakes, according to them, now according to Mike Pence, the vice president, right? Because he said it 8 times yesterday.
There's 3 stories going on.
No, but wait. Mike Pence said yesterday, 8 times, that it was this guy's recommendation to fire Comey, right? So now, that's how the story broke, right? But now let's look at this, right? Remember, we dealing with a megalomaniac. Donald Trump is a megalomaniac, right? Listen, he's a megalomaniac, right? It's all about him. Only I could fix it, right? 300 plus million people in this country, but he's the only one who could solve the problems, right? So now, here's what we got going. We got Donald Trump playing New York chess with these guys. He moving pawns over here, arguing, distracting, so that you don't remember that he moved his pawn. Know what I'm saying? Sinetta, you know about this, right? Arguing so you don't remember that this pawn is moved.
That's right.
And then when I say, wait, you touched that piece. Man, I didn't touch that. Then you want to smack the pieces over. And then say, yo, nah, we can set it back up. We can set it back up. Causing confusion. So nobody remembers where the pieces are. So now you want to play it over. Now you want to set it back up. Now we got to argue. Nah, man, I ain't giving you that game. You know about this, Sarnetta. This is called the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This is what Donald Trump is doing in Washington, D.C. right now. Donald Trump is causing confusion because he know, like we know on the streets of New York, confusion will buy you some time. Confusion will distract people from what the fuck is going on until the next thing happens that will grab their attention. Like Donald Trump grab a pussy. He waiting for the next thing that happened that'll grab their attention. Now what's the next thing that happened? The Senate has hearings with the intelligence community. So now everybody's looking at that. What are they gonna say, right? So here they got the acting FBI director. He stands up for Comey. Look, it was an honor to serve with this guy. Donald Trump said, dude is doing a bad job. He lost the confidence of the people. He lost the confidence of Democrats, Republicans, and the FBI, right? The FBI said, no, that's not the case. No. But now, understand, when we talking about these white folks' business, all you Negroes, we not talking about these white folks' business because we necessarily give a fuck about these white folk business. We talking about their business like they talk about our business. Like they sit up in courtrooms and boardrooms and fucking sociology centers like they come through on buses talking about our business. We talking about their business because we can see their ass. And we can see how ridiculous they are. And we can see how stupid they look. And we can see how they make themselves look on the international stage because what they're trying to do is upstage Barack. And we see how Barack looked on that international stage, and we see how powerful Barack looked on that international stage, and we see how Barack looked on camera, and we see the swag that Barack walked out on that camera with, and they still fucked up about it. So now they got somebody, they thought he had swag. They got a movie star, a TV star, a reality TV star. They thought he had swag. Psych! Know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's stupid. He is stupid. Donald Trump is stupid. I stand by it. Sue me, Donald Trump, for saying you stupid. I'll go in court with you tomorrow and prove that you stupid. I will prove that you stupid. I will pursue me for $5 million like you sued Bill Maher for saying that your father was an orangutan. Show me your birth certificate that say you're not stupid. I'm saying that you stupid. They should have wrote it on your foot. Tattooed your feet when you was a baby. A little baby stupid fucker. Cause you stupid. There's no way in the fuck you could be 70 years old in New York City. Oh, yes there is. I take that back. You could be rich in New York and live to be 70 and be like Donald Trump. But you couldn't be no regular person. No regular guy interacting with real people and be that damn dumb and make it to 70 years old. You would have got hit by a car, a garbage truck, a bus, or somebody. Know what I mean? A car, a garbage truck, a bus, or somebody. In those 70 years, if your ass was that dumb walking around regular people, how the hell can you sign a letter? You are the president of the United States. You signed a letter stating the reasons why you fired this guy, and then you went on camera and said some different shit. You signed a letter and said X, Y, Z, and then went on camera and said ZYX. Facts. And look at people like you think they're fake news. Every other word that you say out of your mouth is a goddamn lie. It is appalling that you are actually causing me the absolute most un-American captive on this soil. I am the most un-American captive in America. And you are actually causing me to feel funny about being here. People from other places are looking at me like, because your ass is the leader, that maybe I'm stupid too, because I'm here. This is ridiculous. You are putting every person on this soil's reputation, international reputation. I talk to people in other countries, and they ask me, did you vote for Donald Trump? And the pregnant pause on the phone is like me thinking of ways to like say things to them that I could get away with and them not know how I really feel about them asking me if I voted for Donald Trump, right? But an equivalent would be Frederick Douglass said that slaves on one plantation would argue with slaves on another plantation about whose master was better. That master, he only whip you 3 times. That one whip you 5. 3, 5. Now for the slow amongst you, there's a reason why I'm using 3 and 5. Because the other motherfucker said 3/5. You understand? So we gonna keep this about us. And the examples are gonna be about us. That's why it's Frederick Douglass, and it's 3 and 5, and it's 3/5, and it's black and white, and it's America, and it's, we talking about white people today, y'all. And white people are on camera today, y'all. And notice that. Excuse me. These are the same white people who go to better schools than we go to, who have more money than we have. They have large mansions and helicopters and limousines, right? And a peculiar goddamn aversion for the truth. Makes you wonder what the word better means, right? Now, the reason it makes you wonder what the word better means, as an offside, we got people in this society who have a problem with what words mean. Some people think up means down. Some people think left means right. Some people think right means wrong. You know some people think yes mean no, right? And no mean yes, right? I mean, every rapist said she said no, but I know she really meant yes, right? So we have a problem with people. Some people think black mean white. You understand? Because I mean, I could bring somebody over here right now, and they'll tell you they're a free white man. Right? So we dealing with a cauldron of confusion. And in this cauldron of confusion, you know, if you've ever did any cooking or any baking, when you stir the mixture, right? At some point the mixture becomes smooth, right? And you see it's uniform. But then if you slow down that mixing, notice what I said. If you slow down that mixing, you get to see what's really there. Know what I'm saying? I'm using a lot of double entendres today, Red Pill. Right? So now, if you slow down that mixing, you get to see what's really there, right? You get to see the lumps, and you might want to smash some of those lumps out and smooth them out. You know what I'm saying? To make the batter more uniform. So now, while you smoothing out the batter, you getting ready to bake something, right? You might be making an angel food cake, a devil food cake, or lemon meringue pie. I don't know what you're baking, but you're smoothing out the mix, right? When you look at the mix that they trying to smooth out in this society vis-a-vis these politics, family, here's what you got to think. Under Barack Obama, here you had all these wealthy white people crying wealth redistribution, right? And they felt that everything that Obama did was about redistribution of wealth, taking money out of their pocket and putting it in the hands of the poor people, right? So here now you got an alleged, and I'm saying alleged because we ain't seen his tax returns. So we don't know if he's a billionaire. He's an alleged billionaire. He might just be a Russianaire. A Vladimir Putinaire. Know what I'm saying? He might be a Russianaire. He might not be a billionaire. I know Warren Buffett is a billionaire. He showed his tax returns. Bill Gates is a billionaire. He showed his tax returns. I don't know about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is under perpetual audit. That's some shit you say to stupid people when they ask you a question that is intelligent, but you know if you answer, it's like sticking your finger in a socket, right? That's some uncomfortable shit right there. Look, stupid people ask me questions like that. Don't ask me that. Donald Trump, the Russianaire, President of the United States. Listen, family. Remember I told you, I post on Facebook sometimes, and I call the post Optical Psychology 101. And somebody posted on my post and said, there's no such thing as optical psychology. He's reading my post, right? Optical Psychology 101. And he writes on my post, there's no such thing as optical psychology, right? What post is he on? Optical Psychology, right? Because he's on Optical Psychology, there must be optical psychology, right? Now.
What is optical psychology?
Now. Optical psychology, that's a great question, Brother Sarnetta. Optical psychology is tricking your goddamn eyes with the images that they show you. They do it with the television. They did it with white Jesus. It was optical psychology that they played on the parts of our ancestors by putting that white man and saying that that was God. Look at the effects of optical, your eyes, on your mind. Psychology. You understand? So now, the optical psychology that we deal with today on Facebook, I call memeology. I use pictures to express ideas like our ancestors did on those pyramids. Okay? White people saw that and called it hieroglyphics, sacred texts. That's not what we called it. We called it metoneta, language of. Now, what I'm saying is, when I take pictures from wherever and I insert them in the texts or in posts in order to stimulate your mind or to provoke a thought in your head to make you think a different way about something, why am I not doing the same thing? Right? So now, I call that memeology, right? Optical psychology is a term that I coined and I put together to express what I'm seeing someone else doing to me. Okay? When they take images of us and they put those shits in movies and they take sound bites of us and they have us looking like thugs and criminals and pimps and hoes and bitches and tricks and niggas and, you know what I'm saying? To the point where we have started to self-generate that cultural trait, put it in music and take over the lyrics and make poetry out of this shit. So now it's not just fuck you nigga, it's fuck you, nigga, cause I bust that shit. I pull the Glock out my pocket and I empty the... You know what I'm saying? We writing poems about killing each other. And white folks is buying that shit. White folks is buying that shit. But we talking about killing each other. We ain't talking about revolution. Because white folks not gonna buy that. White folks not gonna buy black people talking about killing white people. But white people buy black folks talking about killing black people like black people buy tickets to see Arnold Schwarzenegger killing up shit. Know what I'm saying? Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's the Terminator. Oh shit, I'm going to see that. He's the, what's that shit? The mother movies he played in? Terminator 2, in the jungle with Commando, right? Oh, I'm going to see that. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, my thing, family, is that at some point, to be real, we talking about white folks today, don't forget. We've been entertaining them, right? It's about goddamn time they start entertaining us back, right? So we got a, I don't know about y'all, but I got a front row ticket, a front row seat to this fucking comedy show that is the Donald Dumbass Trump presidency for the next 3+ something years, right? I'm gonna be watching this dude if he lasts that long, because when you look at what that shit did to Barack, that shit put like 5 years on Barack for every 1 year he was there. That shit grayed his hair faster than fuck. Trump, he not gonna have gray hair, cause he switch. Know what I'm saying? One day his shit is blonde, and the next day is white. He switch. He switch. We know what that's about. It'll be hell to pay. Hell to pay. Right? Notice that I didn't even mention that shit, right? Right. And the reason I didn't mention it is because you didn't ask me. But since you asked me, right? Because it's not my business, right? But since you asked me, right? Oh shit. I mean, it's not my business, right? I don't want Donald Trump talking about my business. You know he the president, he can find out a motherfucker business right about now, right? So I don't want him talking about my business. But since you asked me, right? Look, since you asked me, this is what I'm gonna say. Let me caveat this. They don't caveat this on the news, but I'm gonna caveat this. In my opinion, here you got Donald Trump, right? In my opinion, here you got Donald Trump, right? Whatever he has done, I'm not saying I know it. I'm not going to pretend that I know. I'm not even going to pretend that I have an idea. But I'm going to say whatever his ass done did, he is worried the fuck about it, because anybody that even get close to that shit is out of there, right? That includes what's this chick name? Now, Sally Yates. She was looking strong, telling on him, right? No, on Michael Flynn. Now, of course, by telling on Michael Flynn, she is in effect telling on Donald Trump. And the reason why is because she told on Michael Flynn 18 days before Donald Trump took action. And the action that Donald Trump did take immediately was firing her. Yeah. So that's like, wait a minute. You're saying that Michael Flynn could be co-opted by the Russians? You're fired. Yeah. That means he did not want that known. Now, why wouldn't he want that known? Let me say this, family. Something that occurred yesterday, right, that may have bearing on this issue, right? And the thing that happened yesterday that might have bearing on the issue is that Donald Trump met with the Russian foreign minister in the White House. And he met with the Russian ambassador, right? The same Russian ambassador who is at the heart of this controversy, Kislyak. right? Now, in meeting with the Russian foreign minister and the Russian ambassador in the White House yesterday, Donald, the American President Trump, excluded the American media from the meeting. But he allowed the Russian media in the meeting.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Now, for those of you Negroes who say, why you all up in that white folks' business?
Yes, sir.
He's my president too.
Drop it, Larry.
So if he's a treasonous Russian plant sleeper agent, I need to know that. If Donald Trump is a planted Russian sleeper agent, I need to know that. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know who's sleeping in the house that slaves built.
And then who pops up after the meeting?
Kissinger. You understand? We need to know that. We need to know who's sleeping in the house that slaves built. See, I don't know how you think about the White House,
Oh, you talking about Benjamin Banneker.
but the White House is a national treasure
That's right, Benjamin Banneker.
designed by Benjamin Banneker. The plans revived. When they lost the plans, Benjamin Banneker drew part of that shit from memory.
Go ahead.
Now,
Drop it.
we talking about a house,
They can't take
the hands of which our enslaved ancestors was being tasked to toil to construct.
That's right, Larry.
So we talking about a national treasure. All I'm saying is we need to know who the fuck is sleeping in the White House.
Yeah,
Is he a Russian sleeper agent
that's right.
planted by Vladimir Putin?
Oh,
Is that why he won't say anything bad about Vladimir Putin?
oh,
Is that why he excluded the American press from a meeting with the Russian foreign minister, but allowed the Russian press in the meeting with the Russian foreign minister? What the fuck were they talking about? In the house that slaves built, in the land of the free, in the home of the slave. What are they talking about? Suppose they talking about enslaving all of us.
oh,
What are they talking about? Don't tell me they ain't got no secret plans. You know they got secret plans. If you don't know they got secret plans, tell me what the fuck they plans are. If you don't know, then they got secret plans. Know what I mean? What the fuck is this, rocket science? They got secret plans. We want to know what the fuck. We want to know what the fuck they up to. You understand? We want to know why Donald Trump is meeting in the White House with Russians and excluding American reporters but allowing Russian reporters in. What are they telling the Russian people that they're not telling the American people? What is being broadcast on Russian media to the Russian people about Donald Trump that they're not telling the American people about Donald Trump? If they exclude the American media,
yeah.
but they allow the Russian media.
Yes, sir.
You have a question, brother?
Yeah, Minister Larry,
Brother Larry.
Brother Larry, pardon me, Brother Larry. You associate him with the Russians.
Not me.
Oh. So,
From the white guy across the street.
so you conjecture that he's a Russian sleeper
Let me
agent.
give you some context, right? During the 2016 campaign for the presidency of the United States, right? Donald Trump stood on stage several times and invited the Russians to hack into Hillary Clinton's emails,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
He stood on stage several times.
Yes, sir.
He says, oh, I wish you could find those 30,000 emails, right? So he invited them to hack, right? Now, what they're looking for in Congress is they're not looking to see if he did it. They know he did that. It's on video. They're looking to see if, while he was saying that the Russians were doing that, And these people knew about it, and there was collusion, meaning that you let this out, we say this happens, we say that, a tit for tat, a back and forth. Now, they can show that there was a back and forth. I can even show you that. They can establish by the timelines that these things happen. Donald Trump said this was released, then this happened. You understand? This guy said this, and then this happened. You know, this is no mystery. This is why it's fucking with Donald Trump, because he know he runs his mouth. And the problem with Donald Trump is he don't know what the fuck he done said. Know what I'm saying? He done said so much shit, he don't know. So now, all this tape of him saying this shit, WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks. Now he's upset that there's leaks. You understand? No, it's not real. So now, as things progress and they get closer and closer to Donald Trump, of course he don't want that to continue. You understand? Look, it'll taint in the minds of people his win. They're already saying, okay, the Russians hacked the Democratic National Convention. They say they also hacked the Republicans, but they didn't release any damaging information about the Republicans. Logic dictates they wanted the Democrats to lose. Now, I have a lot of people that consider themselves my friends who somehow get lost in this dialogue and think that, I don't know, I give a fuck whether Republicans or Democrats win or lose. That's not where Brother Larry's coming from. I'm a black nationalist for real. You understand? So I'm only concerned with things that help me and my people. I'm not concerned with necessarily if the country fell today. My concern would be, what are we gonna do? Not what's gonna happen to America, because I already know what white folks is gonna do. I know what Mexicans are gonna do. You understand? What are black people gonna do?
That's the only question we
know what I'm saying? Because if your ass is gonna run over there and look for white people to help you when this shit is falling down, you are going to be a slave.
You're done.
If you got to run to Julio and find out what Julio is up to, you are going to be a slave. If you don't have a number, call 1-800 black people get your ass over here. You are going to be fucked up when America collapses. Now this is where I'm coming from, right? So now, watching these white folks literally tear this motherfucking country apart, right? My concern in speaking out, brother, is that my people ain't watching this shit and seeing what the fuck is really happening. They don't see the dismantling of the institutions that actually hold this shit together. You understand? So now, if the institutions collapse, remember, this is basically a trading empire. The United States is a market.
It's a market.
So now, if the institutions that hold this shit together collapse, and the states, 50 states, which are 50 small independent countries with their own governments, right? Their own president, the governor, their own legislatures, the Senate and in the states, right? They are 50 independent states, right? So now, independent countries. So now they come together, and they form this union, right? But this union, you know that bullshit they be spitting at us to form a more perfect union, right? This union ain't never been perfect. This motherfucker was flawed from the start. Number one, slavery. Flawed union. Number two, poor and rich. When they formed this union, if your ass ain't had no land, no property, no money, you ain't had no rights. You understand? So now, we not talking about no perfect union. Fast forward to the present. all of the trials and tribulations that our people have undergone in this country, we still have not come to our right fucking state of mind. You understand? I mean, what else can I call it? We got to still be suffering the psychological effects, of which we know there are many and they are real, of the abuse that we suffered for hundreds of years. I once wrote a poem, and a line in the poem is, we suffered never-ending degradation for a set amount of years. You understand? It never stopped. But now, hold up, 1 second. My point is that when we see that this shit is falling, right? Instead of coming up, well, let me back up off of this shit, right? And put bricks down, because I know the wind just tore the shit out that wood. And that straw ain't gonna make it. Let me at least try to build this shit over here with my bricks, right? And then we get enough of our own people to build with these bricks, and we got a fortification, right? So that when some shit happens, okay, everybody on this side, and everybody on this side is protected, because everybody on that side is hostile. They want something from us that we're not willing to give, because they're not willing to trade. They want to take it. You understand? And that is the historical reality that we're still dealing with.
Okay, that was made very clear. Now I want to jump over to his connections with Germany.
Okay.
But where do you see this at in the whole scheme of where you're going?
I got you. Well, let me say this to you, right? My brother, what's your name?
Shalimar.
Shalimar? Yeah. Brother Larry.
Good to meet you.
Same here. Here's the thing, right? In my opinion, right? Donald Trump. No. In my opinion, Donald Trump, right, has surrounded himself with individuals who are tethered to the global elite on the planet. Right. You understand? He didn't reach. See, there's a way to network, right? You and me, we could do it with a social program or a telephone, right? And then we exchange numbers, and you say, yeah, this is my brother too. Take his number too, because we build the same way, right? Donald Trump just did that shit in front of everybody. All them billionaires that he called to give jobs and shit, yeah. That's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? If he knew motherfuckers on 125th Street, he would have called somebody off 125th Street to go work in Washington. But he don't know nobody here, because this ain't where he be. The only reason he know them, income tax brackets. Know what I'm saying? There's only so many names in those income tax brackets. That's what he dealing with. Now, as far as esoteric information, esoteric knowledge, secret organizations, right? Let me run a concept by you. As a species, man, modern man, including Neanderthals, right? How do we relate information to each other? Verbally, right? Or graphically, we put it in the form of words and ideas. And we have mediums that express those words and ideas. Correct? Stories is how we relate information. Even if I come up to you and you're a random stranger and I'm trying to get some information from you, I'm going to tell you a story. If I'm trying to rob you, I'm going to tell you a story. If I pull a gun on you, I'm still going to tell you a story. The story might not be one you want to hear. Shut the fuck up, don't move, put your hands in the air, give me your money. It's a story, right? It's one that you'll repeat too, right? But no, let me make this point, right? But what I'm saying is that made me lose my train of thought just now, right? The story, right? So now we know that basically it involves some form of trickery, some form of look over there or look over there, right? We have become so good, so adept, so skilled at telling stories that a lot of people see the story and think the shit is real. They hear the story and think it's real. Now this covers a whole bunch of layers, and this is about 10 levels deep, right? About belief and stories, because this is how we relate information to each other, through a story and words. If you don't absolutely know, have an absolute handle on the language that you speak, I mean, are able to comprehend the language that you speak, that is spoken to you, the nuances of the language, right? You could get lost in a story. You could follow part of it, but you may not know exactly what's going on. But just because, shit, there's some action in there. This is why there's actions in the movies, to hold your attention while they tell you the story. The action is only there to make sure you remember that there's a storyline here, right? So now, keep that in mind, right? What we're dealing with is a storyline that's being told to us, and they want us to know this storyline. They don't want us to know the truth.
Add on. Go ahead, Red. Add on to the politics.
Everything, when you see the video that I did before you came, you'll realize that we are on the same frequency, because we covered the same thing just in different ways. I opened up speaking about the importance of reporting these stories, because our people are being fed this information from an unreliable source. That unreliable source being the mainstream media in all of its facets, whether it's through the newspaper, whether it's through the news agencies. You just saw a few weeks ago there was a situation that took place online through Google and YouTube, where they are effectively silencing the alternative media, meaning that they don't want you to receive a stream of consciousness that's not controlled. The controlled stream of consciousness is the stream of consciousness that's telling you that the fucking sky is green, because you have a president that's lying to you consecutively, unapologetically, blatantly, and they're telling you, and they're saying stay calm, sharp, and act like nothing is wrong, or don't worry, later on we're gonna find out something. Okay, so they're like, yo, this is some bullshit. Nobody should even be going to work today, but continue on, carry on, even though there's all kind of shit going on, right? And
what's that shit? What's that shit they said? There's no toxic fuel. Ground zero.
Yes, exactly. Just go shop. You have nothing to worry about.
No. Go down there and clean that shit up.
Go down there and clean it up. There's no fumes.
Nothing.
We're not picking up anything. But then they'll put a news report out where they did pick it up. But that's on the 36th page of the newspaper 2 weeks later. So all we're saying is that this is a huge distraction, but it's not exactly a distraction, because you were seeing
Donald Trump is the distraction.
He is the main distraction. You know what I mean? He is the distraction, bar none.
The pieces over.
Exactly.
Arguing about where the shit is at.
Exactly.
That's him.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody else know where it's at. They after his ass.
If anybody knows the behavior of somebody who got them boys on their ass,
what he said? He told me 3 times that I wasn't talking investigation.
But then what else? But then he said I was thinking about.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That it's a blatant.
He said 3 times they not investigating me.
Yeah.
They ain't investigating
They
me.
ain't investigating me.
So don't even think I'm trying to get around nothing.
Exactly. He told me personally. So he contradicts, like Larry was saying, he contradicts why he fired him on live TV. I mean, the shit is just blatant.
He didn't even know. Talk about, he didn't even know he was fucking fired.
That was rich. That was rich. No. That was rich. He was in Los Angeles at an FBI convention.
Yeah, with a convention.
Talking on stage. and there was a TV on behind him, and the people told him that, look
Behind you.
he looked, and he thought it was a front. No, he thought it was fake news, family.
Yeah. You can't make this.
He thought Donald Trump, he thought the people there had pranked him, right? So he thought it was fake news. But Donald Trump had made real news out of fake news. How this go? Fake news made real news yesterday. Yeah, that's how it goes. Because Donald Trump is fake news, right? But he actually made real news when he fired the FBI director. Because he is fake news. Why is he fake news? Look, and here's the only time I'll tell you I agree with Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says the mainstream media is fake news, this is the reason the mainstream media is fake news, family. Because the mainstream media will interview Sean Spicer and what's this chick name? Ugly
Kelly McConnell.
Huckleberry?
Yeah.
Ugly Bee, how you say her name? How you say that lady name? Ugly Bee? Uglier Bee? Huckabee daughter, Uglier Bee? Yeah, the assistant press secretary for Donald Trump right now. The assistant White House press secretary is Mike Huckabee's daughter, right? What's her name? It's like something Huckabee something.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, she's on the news right now. She's doing Sean Spicer's job while he's on the reserves. Okay. But look, here's the thing, right? Ugly Bee. That's an ugly white woman. Fuck it. We're not being politically correct this year. Right? She is ugly. Now, here's the deal, right? Ugly as in she's a crooked-faced Neanderthal looking like woman, right? And I don't know if she's really a woman. I would have to see her birth certificate
And a DNA.
and I would have to see blood on some tissue, right? Before I say she's a real woman. Why? Birth certificate, I have to see it say female and blood on the tissue because they make fake women these days, right? And since she looked like a man, she could be a fake woman. Brother Larry.
I'm no minister of information.
Right? Peace. Right? But now, like I was saying, right? She could be a man. Okay? You don't try to fool me. Because what's that other bird name that used to be a man or is a man that think he a woman or what the fuck? How they do that shit? Right?
What are you talking about? The Manhattan on what?
I don't know. What was he, a swimmer or a tennis player or something? What the fuck is his name? Jenner. A swimmer or something, right? Yeah. Mark Jenner, some shit like that? Yeah. Okay. Like that. It could be one of them people, right? This Huckabee chick that's doing the White House correspondence right now. So don't play with me. She look like Conan the Barbarian, right? So here's my point. They about that fake news because they talk to these people like the shit that they're saying is not outrageously bullshit. And they sit there and they talk to them with straight faces. And I'm saying, if I know somebody is lying to me, how the fuck am I gonna talk to you when I know you lying? I don't even want to talk to you anymore. I don't give a shit if you're the White House correspondent. You telling lies. Why am I gonna ask you a question and I know you're gonna lie? If you lie once, you lie twice, you're gonna lie the third time. I'm not gonna ask you any more questions. But the mainstream media keeps going back and asking them these fucking questions. Okay, they know that Donald Trump ass is lying, but they still asking Donald Trump why is he lying. They asked Donald Trump, why'd you fire the FBI director? He said because he wasn't doing a good job. He wasn't doing a good job. Listen, Sarnetta. He was trying to catch Donald Trump. Donald Trump said he wasn't doing a good job. You're fired.
He was trying to catch his ass out there hard. He seen that shit.
Sir. Look, you trying to catch me. You're not doing a good job.
Right.
You're supposed to be trying to catch them. But because you're trying to catch me, you're not doing a good job. I gotta fire your ass, right? You have to be out of here. The American people have lost confidence in the FBI. Now, look, let me tell you why he said that, right? Let me tell you why he said that. You know who he's talking about when he says the American people? His supporters, his base. He ain't talking about nobody else, right? You have to really listen to these motherfuckers when they talk, right? And just know when Donald Trump say the American people, he talking about his supporters. So his supporters not happy. I'm not mad at him for that. Only thing I got a problem with is tell the truth. You understand? If that's his version of the truth. Listen, tell the truth. If you lying, say, look, this ain't for you, everybody, so only my supporters listen. I support that. I actually support that. If you getting ready to lie, say that this ain't for everybody. This is only for my people. When you ready to tell the truth, that's when you call me. Know what I'm saying? But when you blowing smoke up people's ass, don't call me to hear that shit. Don't put it on the news. Don't put it on Twitter. Don't be putting no outrageous fake bullshit out into the atmosphere trying to distract my attention away from this Russia investigation. I want to know why your son Eric, Donald, said that y'all not worried about no bank funding. Y'all get all y'all funds from Russia.
Damn.
I'm waiting to hear about that. I want to know why your son said y'all get all the funding y'all need from Russia. Said that. So,
something gotta be going on.
All I'm saying is, what I do know, I don't know a lot, but what I do know is that it's some shit going on. Why do I know it's some shit going on? Even though I don't know a lot? Because they trying to hide shit. And it is just basic human nature. Basic human nature. If you trying to hide shit, there's some shit going on. We just want to know what the is going on. Now, if we gotta wait until the impeachment trial to find out what the fuck is going on, let's just get to that. Let's just get on with the impeachment, the bills of impeachment, make the motion, get that shit on the floor of the Senate, and let's find out what the hell's going on.
Is that what they pushing for now?
No, they ain't pushing for that now because the Republicans are going to block that because they control both houses of Congress right now, and they have a chance to get through their agenda that they've been trying to get through, and frankly, they don't give a shit. You understand? But if we got a Russian sleeper agent in the White House, we need to know that. We need to know because, first of all, look, Wesley Snipes needs to know because didn't they lock Wesley Snipes' ass up for not paying taxes?
Yep.
Leona Helmsley's ghost needs to know because they locked Leona Helmsley's ass up for not paying taxes. And she's a New York billionaire. Donald Trump ain't pay no taxes. He's a New York alleged billionaire. Are they gonna lock Donald Trump ass up for not paying taxes? What I'm saying is, inquiring minds need to know. We need to see those. We need to see those tax returns. We need to see if there's substantial holdings in Moscow. We need to know if Leningrad got a Trumpville. We need to know if, what's that, Catherine Stein, or whatever the fuck is over there. We need to know if it's a Trump Tower over there. Know what I'm saying? We need, look, I might want to go on vacation. I might want to see Russia. I got friends in Russia right now. I might want to go visit my Facebook friends in Russia. I need to know, can I stay at Trump Tower in Moscow, in St. Petersburg? Know what I'm saying? So we need to know. Especially since Eric Trump said they not worried about getting money from banks in America. They can get as much money as they need from Russia. The fuck? That's like, look, fuck them banks. I know Poppy. I can get as much money as I need from Poppy. Know what I'm saying? I got the hookup. And Poppy go under the bed and bring me out 30 million. No questions asked. Why you asking questions? Know what I'm saying? Poppy ain't asked no questions. IRS, they ain't asking no questions about Donald Trump, but they want to know about your money, Red Pill. They want to know how many sweatshirts you sold. Right. They want to know how many DVDs Sinetta sold. They want to know how many cameras I installed. But they ain't worried about how many apartments Donald Trump rented. How many bottles of perfume Ivanka sold? She making Chinese money now. She got Chinese deals, sitting at dinner with the Chinese president, signing Chinese deals. I mean, they got all kind of shit going. They got the flip going. I told you from day one, this was going to be a criminal enterprise, right? But I'm not hating, because you know I'm not a hater. I'm a participator. I'm looking for a way to get paid. Know what I'm saying? But my thing is this. While you fronting like you the president of the United States of America, and we know that your ass is really a wannabe mob boss. Know what I'm saying? Because you've been watching TV. He watched The Sopranos. He watched American Gangster. Know what I'm saying? This is Donald Trump. He's a... Look. You supposed to get that bird coming up to you, taking a piece of the orange, right? But my point is that this is not that he's a TV dude, but there's an era in this country where that mentality, where the Jackie Gleasons and shit, right? Where you talk about smacking the shit out your wife. And that shit was the shit to do. Bang, zoom, to the moon. You're talking about smacking your wife. That's on primetime network television.
Bang, zoom.
You know what I'm saying? Smacking her ass all the way up to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Archie Bunker calling his wife a dingbat. You know what I'm saying? And his son-in-law, stupid Polak and shit. No, that type of shit. That's mainstream American television when we were growing up, Sinetta. Right. So now, all this thing about domestic violence and shit, for all you what they call it, millennials, all that shit is new. All that shit is brand fucking new. Know what I'm saying? We was growing up, what they said, what's that shit? Pimp smack a bitch. Huh? That's the shit motherfuckers was running around here talking. And a bunch of motherfuckers was running around here doing it. I grew up with that dumb shit. Now, I smacked one of my little girlfriends when I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? I had a sister, Sinetta. Her name, Baba.
What's up?
What up? I had a sister, Sinetta, right? Her name was Ruby, right? I was like 12 or 13, right? And we was arguing. Now look, Sinetta, I did like this. Sinetta, I did like this. That was the last day she was my girlfriend. Yeah. Know what she said? No, she said, man, I love that girl to this day. I love her to this day. We was like 12, 13. We was Sinetta. We was 12 or 13. We was 12 or 13. And she had her motherfucking self-respect intact. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
But you forgot you
look.
one time before. Yeah.
some people they got funny feelings about a post I made about Serena Williams. Because I said, fuck Serena Williams, she fucking white boys, right? And I don't support that shit. I don't support mixing, right? Now listen, fuck that. I don't care, right? So now, here's the thing though, right? I got some flack from a couple of sisters. Oh, you too old to talk like that. How you gonna call her, what I said, a skank, right? Now, and I asked her because she took offense to me saying skank, right? And what I said was, her father went through hell with them crackers and her skank ass gonna fucking marry a white guy, right? So now that's my opinion, that's how I feel, and that's how I still feel, right? So my point here is now, my brother Baba here, because I got some people, they try to get on my post and talk that mulatto shit and all this bullshit, right? And I try to explain to them, there is a difference between our people being who they are and us now going across the street. You understand? Baba's my brother. Baba's half white. That don't make Baba not black. You understand? That make Baba Baba. Now, if Baba say, I'm black, Baba black. If Baba say, I'm white, Baba white. If Baba say, I'm marrying a white woman, he married a white woman. If he say he married a black woman, he married a black woman, because Baba is half black, half white. Now, I said that to say this. In America, our people, we not dealing with, hey, that's 100% black guy right there. Hey, that's 100% white guy right there. If you look at them white people in the South and you take their DNA, they ass ain't coming back 100% white. If you look at the black people, they ass ain't coming back 100% black. That's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about mixing. I'm talking about culture. When you look at my people in this society, you have people who look like Baba, who not half black. We got people named Jose, Gilberto. We got white people named Rachel Dolezet, right? Who want to be a part of my culture. You understand? They identify with my culture. That's black. Now, in America, understand, when I say mixing, when you take black and then you mix it with something else, and I tell you you ain't getting back black, I'm talking about that culture. Because no, see, you leaving black, you making a choice. No, I don't want to be black, fuck that. I don't want a black woman. You making a conscious decision. You moving out. And show me if I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected, because I'm never too old to learn. You show me where them brothers or them sisters that's making that decision that they marrying white people, you show me where they ass is building black institutions, building black in the community. You show me where it's happening.
What happens if they've been conquered, though? You're dealing with a conquered people.
No, I'm not dealing with a conquered people. I'm dealing with my people. My people, no, you ain't correct. Where you from, brother?
Right here.
Come on.